This is the Prophet-5, and now we are going to look at the internals of it and see how I added the MIDI kit and brought it back to life, because when I got it, it was not working at all. So when I initially did the MIDI mod, I kind of jury-rigged it. This is actually part of the Prophet-5 right here. These are the original digital in and out for the original sequencer that you could get for this. We're going to power down. Unplug our MIDI, unplug the audio, and I've already taken all the screws out of the case on this, keep those where I can find them. So we're only going to need the bottom of this for the drilling the holes in it, but this is the voice board with the much sought after SEM chips.
Where are the SEM chips at?
They're all right here. You can't really see it's going to be really hard. I can barely even read which ones they are on most of them. But you can see like all this shit around the parts here. I cleaned some of it off, but you gotta be really careful. This is the MIDI kit right here. That is the added MIDI. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill holes, dedicated holes for the MIDI jacks. I'm gonna yank it off actually because it needs to be removed to get this all apart. So that's where this chip originally was right there. These chips right here replaced two chips that were originally, or at least one of them is the original chip and one of them is a replacement, I believe, which upgraded the OS so that it would be able to handle the MIDI kit. That's the original. This is all the. This is the digital board here. If you remove this board and swing it out, there's the continuation of this board. This is the digital board. This is the analog synth part of it right here. Notice the weird sort of Shiva head and all of the Sanskrit. The people at Sequential Circuits were hippies, I believe. There's supposedly like mantras and stuff written in it. But anyway, let's get this thing out of the way. And we're gonna unplug all these cables because we are only taking the back out here. I'm just marking this so that I know which side was out. Like it's just a thing I commonly do when I'm taking ribbon things off. I think either way, it's not gonna screw it up if I put that back wrong, but it's just good to be safe, just so I can get it back the way it was. Sometimes these things can be a little bit of a pain to get undone.
What is that you're unplugging right now?
That is all of the I/O on the back, which actually if you come up over here, you can see that's actually connected to all of this. That's the power supply, which I rebuilt this on January of 2007 because I marked that capacitor so I'd know it. The main problem when I first got this was that the power supply caps were all out of whack, so when I measured the voltage of the power supply, it was off. So when you turned this on, a lot of the lights and stuff would come on, but it was all flickery and funky. But basically by replacing all the electrolytic caps in it, which generally those kind of things dry out in somewhere between 12 and 15 years, you usually need to replace that stuff no matter what in any sort of piece of equipment. It's maybe not so important to do it in the synthesizer part of it, but in power supplies, with analog synths, right off the bat, usually the first thing you want to do is recap the power supply and get the voltages back on to where they should be. And all that information can usually be found on the schematic. Now if I get this cable undone, we'll be ready to go to the next step. Probably need a bigger work surface than I have to really do this stuff right, but you gotta work with what you got, right? Everything is unplugged between the synth and the power supply and the MIDI jacks. We are going to place this somewhere safe, which might be over here with the OB8.